messages will now become subliminal, but your subconscious mind will be hearing and accepting all of the positive messages. Listen to the tapes as often as you can. The more you listen, the sooner success will come.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Awaken Your Positive Inner Voice podcast. I am your host, Kenya Zandrowicz, and we have been kicking things off with some great conversation all about empowering you to pick up your pom-poms and cheer for your own life. I'm excited about this episode, just like I am for all of my episodes, but this is going to be a two-part series. Yes, indeed, because it's just so good. I don't think that we can do it all in one. Today's topic, strengthening your positive inner voice in the face of challenges. And I think that is one of the key moments that we should learn to embrace that positive inner voice or allow that positive inner voice to kick in and take hold so that we're not feeling so defeated, so that we're not feeling as though we are incapable, so that we are not feeling as though we are not deserving. And I'm going to talk about, how I actually encountered over this past week a situation where my extremely critical negative voice wanted to hop in and take hold, and I was able to catch myself because it was actually trying to convince me of things that weren't even really true. So we're going to talk more about that, but first, as you know how we do it, we like to take a little break before we transition into the full episode. So don't you go anywhere. We've got some more conversation coming up for you next. Welcome back. Of course, we take these short breaks. I think it's wonderful that you all get to hear my voice, and I totally enjoy sitting here and speaking with all of you. I do this show in part for myself, mainly because you have things that you think about, you contemplate, you experience, and you kind of want to get it out there. You want to unload and get it off your chest, and you want to discuss some of those things that you might have been pondering throughout the whole week. And so this show is kind of my therapy when it comes to talking about the importance of being your own supportive person and learning how to do that and not relying so heavily on outside validation or what others may think or feel about you or what you're doing in your life or, your own evolutionary process. And I have learned that as you grow and you grow through things, some of the people who used to be there and cheering for you, they're no longer doing so. So you kind of have to learn how to do it for yourself. And I had to do that. I do have a great support system. I really do. But that came from truly evaluating my beliefs, reframing some of those negative thought patterns that I had, and then going into and restructuring those individuals, my inner circle. There are just some people whom were, it just wasn't a good fit anymore. And you have to be okay with that, and so I've learned how to move on, and I've learned how to learn, and I've learned how to love from afar, and I've learned how to wish everyone well and continue to move on, in my life and grow, with everything that I'm going through. And so with that being said, this particular um, conversation is about tapping into and utilizing and strengthening that positive inner voice in the face of challenges. And we all go through things. I am, it has not been easy. It is not always easy. I will say that life is easier now that I am growing and I am starting to understand myself more, and I'm starting to really look at certain situations that arise or that have happened in my life, and I'm able to take from it what is needed to move forward. And as I get here to this point, you know, it one of the biggest challenges is to go from a fear-based mentality to a faith-based or a belief-based or positive, where you're no longer fearful, but you are confident, you are open, and you are, that faith. You have hope. You have this unsurmountable faith that things are going to work out in your best interest and your best behavior. And so it's how do you embrace the positivity through those times? And if I have to speak on my own experience, which on this show I always do, there have been times when, life just seemed like it was just lifing all over me, and there was no way. Like if I were to think about what I was going through, and to be on the outside looking in, if I did not believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that I deserved more and there was more for me in this life to experience, I don't know which way I would have gone. I don't know if I would have chosen this path. Now, I like to believe that things will continue to happen until you finally wake up and you say, oh, okay, finally, okay, I get it. I'm going to move on beyond whatever this is. I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to be consistent with where I'm trying to go in life. And learning how to embrace a positivity in times of uncertainty is just tough, but it's possible. It is definitely doable, and it is worth doing. I'll give you somewhat of an example, and this is an experience that I had over the past week. There are individuals that you encounter on a daily basis, and sometimes, you have to ask yourself, I feel like this person, is low key hating on me, and I was convincing myself almost that this other person was deliberately doing things to try to sabotage my growth, or to infringe upon my happiness, or to almost can make me feel as though I don't deserve the opportunities that are before me. And I almost convinced myself that that was the case, but that's not true. I know that is not the case at all. And how do I know that that is the case? Because that voice that was speaking to me was from a voice of someone who was bullied as a child or in school. My younger years and my preteen years, they were very trying for me when it came to, interacting with other individuals, feeling like you don't belong, or being pointed out in the crowd and that kind of thing. And so I took, and I didn't even realize, to be honest with you, at the time, that I was holding on to that. And so I actually caught myself, I stopped myself, and I said, well, if this person is low key hating on you, what business is it of yours? That is not my problem. I've done nothing to this person. I've done nothing to anyone to cause them any harm, to make them feel any kind of inadequacies, anything like that. So where is this coming from? And if it is the case, does it truly matter to you? And the answer was no. It really didn't. And it really doesn't. I had to understand that and remind myself that people are going to feel however they choose to feel. My intent is never to make anyone feel any less than, to hurt them, or anything like that. And so it's not my problem, and it's not for me to figure out. And then I started to remind myself, I am here. I am going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to keep doing what it is that I love to do. I am deserving of the opportunities that I have. I am smart. I am intelligent. I am abundant. I am joyful. I am loving. So I just began to talk myself through it. And I began to speak my truths into my own life. And I was pretty proud of myself. And that kind of led into today's topic. And, for some individuals that they may say, okay, that's not uh, um, an uncertain time. I mean, I've had many issues, you're worried about money, worried about where money's going to come from, job, food scarcity, just a variety of things in life. And I now have learned how to get myself beyond it. And that is to remind myself that whatever it is that I'm going through is temporary. What do I need to take from this moment? What do I need to help me get to the next moment, right? What does that look like? And so I had to begin to recognize those fear-based beliefs. And I've learned how to do that. And I believe that we all can. And we all know it. We all know it. It's just taking the time to sit down with yourself to really talk yourself through it and understand it. So we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we are going to go a little bit more into recognizing and managing those fear-based beliefs and trying to reframe that and kind of rewrite the narrative as far as how you're speaking to yourself when you're going through something. So please don't you dare move. We have more coming up for you right after this. You are listening to the Awaken Your Positive Inner Voice podcast with Kenya Zandrowicz. Welcome back. I hope you are enjoying your time with me. For those of you who are just tuning in, you are listening to the Awaken Your Positive Inner Voice podcast. I am your host, Kenya Zandrowicz. I am so glad, grateful. I don't know where you are in this world, but if you are anywhere in the southeastern states, the cicadas. Okay, let me just touch on the cicadas really quick. These things have been driving me up a wall, and I hate for anything to, I don't necessarily like the loss of life, but I am so glad to see that these things are running their cycle and it's starting to die down. Let me just say that. They are driving me up a wall. Before break, we were discussing how to stay focused and how to go from fear-based to faith-based mindset. How do you level up on that positivity muscle when you're going through something? How do you positively think yourself through or talk yourself through some things? And I gave an example of something that was happening in my own life, although it might seem small, but to me, that inner voice could have truly taken it in a whole different direction. I also, touched on being able to identify, knowing when that inner voice is from something you may have experienced in the past. So you've been triggered. And when you are triggered, it causes those feelings to drum up and come up, and it feels as though it's happening in real time. Although it is something that has happened in the past, it cannot harm you, it's already done. You actually rehash and you relive it all over again. And then you add that into the mix when it comes to helping you get through it, helping you move beyond it, and all of those beautiful things. So being able to recognize what that is truly important. And the way that I do that is I have the conversation with myself. I do stop myself and say, why? Why am I thinking this? Is this true? Is this fact? Did someone tell you this? Or is this something that you are making up in your mind? You think that your gut is right. Is it really your intuition talking to you, or it is really that scared little girl that's talking to you and trying to convince you of some things that aren't true? And that's how I have learned how to truly work through it, right? You got to work through it. And that's a part that some individuals don't do. they're not consistent. They're not taking on those habits. I don't want people to think that in life you're always happy. That's not realistic. We're human. We have emotions, and they're there for a reason. Emotions help us learn about ourselves and how we interact with others. It helps us learn the world around us. And so I pay very close attention to my emotional state, and I check in with myself regularly. Even when I am having a bad day, I know that I don't want to dump that on someone. No one is walking around with Kenya's dumpster on their forehead. And so it is not a good practice to take what you're feeling out on someone else because you want them to relate to you in some way. And you should not take it out on someone if they're unable to relate to you when you're in that frame of mind or when you're in that emotional state. And one of the terminologies that's thrown out there a lot is emotional intelligence. And I was very big on learning about emotional intelligence and how I am able to not necessarily make my decisions based purely on emotions. That is some growth. And that took some growth. I mean, we're human. We're emotional creatures. That's how we interact with life. So I had to learn how to really figure out where I am in any given situation. And that has helped me. I know myself. I've taken the time to learn myself. I have been honest with myself. I have taken the time to also forgive myself. And I've spent time with myself by myself, and I've spent time with myself while interacting and engaging with other people. And I know when I am overstimulated. I know I've learned the power of no. I've learned what my self-worth is. I know what I will accept, and I've learned how to lay boundaries. But that took years, and it was like layers, like it truly is like an onion. You just keep peeling it back until you get to the core. And I'm still peeling things back, and I'm still going through life, and I'm still growing, and things are happening. But I'm finding that as I am learning how to restructure that critical voice and learning how to truly allow that supportive voice to step forward, I'm getting through things a lot better. I'm handling life a lot better. I'm handling my business. I'm handling my personal and professional relationships a lot better. I am no longer a victim of circumstance in my life. My inner and my outer world are pretty much in sync at the moment, and I work daily to ensure that that continues to happen. And one of the ways that I do that is through meditation. I am a meditation coach, and I talk about that often. And now I'm beginning to incorporate other things into my practices, other things that I can do throughout the day that I'm finding enjoyment with, and that's journaling. I do a lot of journaling, and I do a lot of reflection. I reflect on my day, I reflect on my week, I reflect on my life. Um, and I truly, truly sit and I am open and honest with myself about what I would like to experience in life. And so as I continue to do that those are some of the things that I do that allow me to continue to maintain a positive outlook in life as I'm going through things. And that's really what this show is all about. It is to assist you. You can use it as a tool, you can use it as a resource for things that you may be going through in life. And I'm going to, as we, continue to move into the show and as we progress, we're going to have various guests. We had our first guest on the show last episode. We had Mark Sullivan who joined us, and it was a great conversation. And I'm excited for our next guest that will be on this show, because that's going to be where part 2 comes in, when it pertains to being able to continue to be supportive in your own life, and tapping into that positive inner voice even when you're going through and facing challenges. My next guest will be someone that is in the midst of a storm, so to speak, and the sun is still shining. She's still allowing the sun to still shine on her life as she assists others as well in their own lives. And so I'm pretty excited about that. There have been, various conversations and write-ups and articles that I've been coming across in reference to awakening your positive inner voice, that inner dialogue that you have. And I would have to say that, of course, a lot of it is probably, the algorithms that I'm experiencing. And it may seem like, oh my God, like this is really what life is all about right now. But at the same time, AI is just kind of honed in on what I love to read and what I love to engage with as I'm continuing to grow as a person. And so we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we are going to talk about how you can find positivity in everyday life. And gratitude. I will say it over and over and over again. Gratitude. Gratitude determines your latitude. You have got to find that something to be grateful for throughout the day that you can tap into, that you can touch on, and you can feel, that will help you get through the day. And we're going to talk some more about that, how you can focus in on that when we come back. Welcome back, and I want to thank you all for joining me again. You are listening to the Awaken Your Positive Inner Voice podcast. I am your host, Kenya Zandrowicz. Before break, we were touching on strengthening your positive inner voice and cultivating cultivating more of a supportive voice as you're going through things in your everyday life, and finding positivity in your everyday life. And how do you do that? How do you find joy in your present moment, regardless of what is going on around you? And before we dive into that a little bit, I came across this article by Psychology Today. And the topic was how to quiet our negative self-talk, and a couple of key points from the write-up. And I'll just touch on the key points. But there was a practice that I had, never encountered before throughout my own research. And after, I did come across it after reading this particular article, I noticed that it's not something new per se. It's kind of new to me, or new to, as far as being readily available for others to try to understand or implement into their own lives. So a couple of the key points in Psychology Today is self-talk is powerful. You can transform yours to spark positivity and healing. Negative beliefs stem from early experiences and represent our deepest fears about ourselves and others. The next one, this is the practice that kind of, took me by surprise a little bit. And I understand it. And I truly believe that it does work. And I believe that in some capacity, we all, those of us who are truly, learning how to grow beyond what we're going through, have, done this. And it's called reparenting. And it says that reparenting is an evidence-based strategy that offers practical ways to heal your inner child. Now, I spoke about a situation that I had encountered earlier in the week, and I identified that inner voice, that negative inner voice, that overly critical negative voice that was attempting to take control, did stem from my inner child. It did stem from experiences that I had in my childhood. And so that was very, very surprising to me to know that this is definitely something that I had been implementing. Wasn't quite sure. I just called it, reframing. But now they're calling it reparenting. So it also says to adopt the self statements of the securely attached, and you'll see shifts in your self talk and your life. And when they say adopt the self statements, reparenting, it truly is going back and then speaking to yourself in a loving way, in a way that you wish you would have been talked to when you were younger in regards to the situation that you were going through. So for me, it was being bullied, of course. And I took it upon myself to remind myself of how powerful I am, of how smart I am, of how deserving I am, of how intelligent I am. So I was able to do that. And that was just simply by reframing those thoughts and reframing the words, the negative thinking, the negative beliefs that I was continuing to place on my own life. And it wasn't even truly from me, but I allowed myself to believe those things about myself. And so if you haven't, I would like for you to look up reparenting, look up what it is, and have that dialogue with me and let me know if that is something that you find to be beneficial, you find to be important. So I'm definitely. We would like to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, Robotic Mower Installer, home of the I Mow No Mow family. If you are looking to do other things rather than mowing your lawn, check out roboticmowerinstaller.com. IMOWNOMOW.com. So that's going to be really, really interesting to hear, and hear what you think about that particular, process of reparenting. As we're going to continue to move on into this particular episode, of course, we are coming up on to the close for a little bit, but I want you to always be able to take something from these programs that you're listening to. I want you to be triggered in a positive way and know that as I'm going through this, you're going through this. And as I'm growing through this, you can grow through whatever it is that you're growing through. And I like to use those types of words because going through something sounds like something is happening to you and it's completely out of your control. And sometimes we cannot control everything around us, but we can control our responses to it. So growing through something, it does help me stay in a positive mindset as life, is happening and as things are unfolding. And so I hope and I wish the same for you. I want you to be empowered. I want you to feel like your life is something that you just can't wait to wake up to every single day. And the life, we are blessed. We are truly blessed to be able to wake up each day and to go after our dreams if we so choose. And a lot of time it is our mindset that needs a shift. And that's what this is here for. The Awaken Your Positive Inner Voice is here to help you shift your mindset into believing, into accepting that you are powerful, that you are growing, that anything you wish to experience in this life, you truly can. Will it require work? Absolutely. Absolutely. And my next guest or next week's show is going to be someone that I truly believe that will encourage you. Her story will encourage you. It is a story about resilience. It is a story about allowing yourself the freedom to believe that you will get through it. Opening yourself up, having, unsurmountable faith that it's part of the plan, but it is not the end all. And so I'm truly excited for you to really, really step into that world and step outside of yourself and to empathize and to understand the world around you, to know that when you take the time to work on your own inner growth and your own inner journey, it's not a selfish act. It is an act of self-love. It is an act of self-care. It is you putting yourself first and knowing that you are the only you in this world and you need to be the best you, the authentic you, the real you. Who are you? And that's what we're doing here. Empowering you to become you, empowering you to know that, you know what, this is me, I am here. And my last episode, that's something that Marks 11 and I, we discussed. We talked about going through your inner healing processes while in a relationship. When someone outside of you is in need of your intention, how do you go in and how do you take care of yourself without guilt? How do you do that? So these conversations are extremely, extremely important to your own self-development. We are coming up on the end of the show, but I wanted to give you a quote of the week. And I want to start doing this. I want to find various memes and various quotes that we can kind of throw into the show. And we hope that it carries you throughout the week and into the next week and into the rest of your life. And so the quote of the week: believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. Christian D. Larson. And it's true. It's so true. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself wholeheartedly and know that you are capable. I mean, we are all miracles walking. We truly are. And I have gone through some things, and now when I sit here before you, I reflect on my life and I'm just like, how is this even possible? How am I here? How did I get through that? I mean, moments when I thought that there was just absolutely no way that I was going to come out on the other side, at least, not in a positive way. And it's like, and it's here I am. Here I am living, laughing, loving, healthy. Family is healthy, children are healthy, grandkids are healthy. I'm just very blessed. And I stay with that. I keep that with me. That's where my gratitude starts. And I find those little moments to tap into, to hone in on, and I reflect on them as needed. And I can tell you that I probably stop multiple times throughout the day and I just close my eyes and I'm like, what am I grateful for today? What am I grateful for today? And then I will talk about what I've accomplished throughout my own life, and I'll smile because I will applaud myself. So I pick up my pom-poms and I cheer for myself, right? I give myself what I need, and I no longer seek for outside validation. So once again, I thank you so much for joining me. You know how we do things here. It's all about the positivity. It's all about the enlightenment. It's all about the awakening. And so I hope you continue to join us. I hope that you continue to allow me a little bit of time in your life. We have come to the end of our show, but it has been absolutely wonderful. Remember that you are the key to open any door. Opportunities are all around you. I want you to continue to strengthen that positive inner voice and begin to understand that critical voice. Where does that critical voice stem from? Is this a fear-based voice that's talking to me right now? Or is this my supportive voice? And do I need to reparent that inner child and give that inner child everything that it needs and wants to move forward positively? So, again, I'm Kenya Zandrowicz. I am your meditation coach, and I'll be talking to you positively.
These messages will now become subliminal, but your subconscious mind will be hearing and accepting all of the positive messages. Listen to the tapes as often as you can. The more you listen, the sooner success will come.
Wake me up from this physical world. Then shake me up, so I can see the world. Oh, pick me up from the illusion world. Ooh, damn baby, kiss me up, like it's the end of the world. Walking down the streets of my dreams, why it seems so real. I can't believe I see what's really real. See the things we feel, we can make them disappear. 'Cause the time is near, you see, baby. So won't you come with me? Wake me up from this physical world. Then shake me up, so I can see the world. Oh, pick me up from the illusion world. Ooh, damn baby, kiss me up, like it's the end of the world. It's time to raise the vibration. All your love can build like this nation. I am a candidate for elevation. Are you ready for divine intervention? Turn your back to temptation, where you step up to the vision. I call it divine mutation. So will you come with me? So won't you come with me? 'Cause I've been waiting so long for you. I couldn't find the light. Is it black or white? But I'ma make my way up to you. Will you see me shine? Will you finally be mine? I could show you